This men's curling, men's 1,000-meter speed skating, and men's hockey edition of the Olympic Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Let it slide. And we're back with another edition of the Olympic Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Adam Pelletier. Folks, we just wrapped up an exciting couple days of Olympic action. The mixed doubles curling is in the books, and we just missed out on USA gold plays. If you were able to get in on USA to medal, love it, wonderful, spectacular, great job by Corey and Corey. Absolutely amazing run out of them. Really great to see. Really has me amped up for some great fours curling that we're going to see over the next 2 weeks. We're going to take a look at that a little later in the episode, and we're going to be joined at the end by special guest Adam Rosenberg coming on to talk about men's hockey and the bets he likes there. So, kicking it off, we got an early afternoon slate for you, other than the men's hockey, but the men's 1,000-meter speed skating on the long track. This is a sport where a young American, Jordan Stolz, has been an absolute monster, and especially in the 1,000 meters. He didn't lose a 1,000-meter qualifier during the entire 25-26 World Cup season, and this is his second Olympics. What makes that even more remarkable, the dude's only 21. He's an absolute beast on the speed skating course, and he's just only going to get better. Absolutely spectacular. Odds-on favorite, heavy minus odds from everything I could see, which is just wild. Like minus 700, I think, is what I saw in one spot. So, it feels like a lock it down. But I do think there are some ways to attack this. I think, obviously it's speed skating, so we're talking about the Dutch, and unlike Goldfinger, where he says he doesn't speak freaky deaky Dutch, we speak freaky deaky Dutch here on the Olympic Gambling Podcast because we believe in Dutch speed skaters across the board. Unfortunately for the Dutch team, they might have left their best shot to unseat Stolz at home. Tim Prins is another young guy, early 20s, who had a really strong World Cup season, finished fourth in the points. And he's not at the Olympics this year, which is just baffling to me. They left him behind for some older veterans, so hopefully that works out and they can match the energy. We're talking about Deboo, I forget his first name, Jay Deboo, who's second best odds to win gold, but he's plus heavy money. And then there's a third option, potentially. Damian Zurek of Poland had another good season, but he couldn't beat Stolz at all during the 1,000-meter qualifying season. So why are we going to trust anybody to try to unseat him? How we're attacking this one, we're heading over to Kalshi to take advantage of some of the pricing there. Either you're putting 60% of your allocation either on Stolz or USA to win gold. So this is one where you're going to want to check the pricing. Where are you going to get the best price? There was about a 4-cent difference. You were getting USA gold cheaper than you were getting Stolz. Check it when you head over there. And just whichever one's cheaper, put 60% of your allocation on it and just walk away. You're going to put 15% of your allocation on Zurich to medal, 15% on Deboo to medal, and you can get the Dutch to win gold 10% at 8 cents. So I really like that. Zurich and Deboo are both very inexpensive options there as well to medal. Getting good prices, sub 50-cent prices on both of those. So absolutely lock that in. And if the Dutch can take him down, maybe they have a plan. They have some good runs and they really push Stolz, and maybe, I'm not saying it's likely, but it's possible. Heading over to the rink for men's curling, Great Britain's the heavy favorite. Bruce Mowat and Jennifer Dodds in mixed doubles just kind of had a really rough go of it. A little surprising out of them. And Mowat was denied again. Olympic gold. He didn't win in 22. He took silver there. So I think he's going to be out on a revenge tour. He's playing with his normal team in fours. That's his premier event. He's much better. He's a better fours player than he is a twos player. He's a very good twos player. He's just better at fours. Also looking at this field, 2022 gold winners out of Sweden, Edin and his team, they had a down year, but they still won the 2024 World Championship. Still contenders in every spiel that they're in. Great team, been together for a really long time. Edin's getting up there. He's 40 now. That's getting up there a little bit in curling years. I know it seems like a dad bod sport, but with the number of games you're playing in a short, condensed period of time, you do got to be in top physical condition, and that does wear on you. I mean, a lot of people saw Corey Dropkin with his wrists heavily taped. Just, it's a very physical sport, especially if you're sweeping. Edin on the back end, skipping, less sweeping for him, but still very physical. Another candidate for gold here, Brad Jacobs is the current world number 2. I use Ken Palm's curling rankings because who knew Ken Palm was also a curling nerd? No word yet on what position he throws or if he's ever thrown a curling stone in his life. Ken Palm, if you have never thrown a curling stone, holler at me. Let's get you out to curling club Charlotte or wherever is your closest curling club to throw some stones. It'll be a grand old time. We'd love to have you. Jacobs is the best Canadian, is out of Canada. He's had an absolutely amazing season. Really strong. Won the Olympic trials out of Canada, which is a competitive event. Beat Gushu and a bunch of other guys who have been long-standing fixtures in Canada. Also, Yannick Schwaller out of Switzerland, kind of coming on here. Schwaller hasn't been necessarily a bigger name, but he's consistently won against top 10 teams in Ken Palm's. Has the third most wins against top 10 teams in Ken Palm's rankings and the second best against teams 11 to 25. So I feel really good about Schwaller. He played a lot of high-level curling this year, won a lot of really tough games, was really battling. And then, of course, we got Danny Casper, the young guys. They beat John Schuster. They might have unleashed a sweeping weapon 2 tournaments too early. For those of you who don't know, there was a little bit of controversy after the U.S. Olympic trials because of a sweeping technique that Team Casper broke out that caused the World Curling Federation to change a rule about sweeping about 60 days after somebody started doing it. So that was a little remarkable that something happened that quickly. But they've had a really good season. They're a top 20 team, according to Ken Palm. A lot of those teams above them didn't make the Olympics. So they have some longer odds to medal. I don't know that they're going to contend for gold. That's going to be a big stretch for them to contend for gold. But I do really like them in the medal odds. So heading over to Kalshi, we're spreading this allocation wide on our futures. Because there's a lot of value to be had here. Obviously, over on Kalshi, if you want to get off some futures as the prices get better, go ahead, please do that. Dump some futures at higher prices all day, every day. So starting off, we're going to get in on 25% of our bankroll. Great Britain to win gold. 41 cents on that right now. Absolutely love it. I think that price is only going to start to go up as Moat has another dominant performance. So you could see that go as high as like 60, 70 cents. So be prepared to dump some of it. 20% Canada gold at 32 cents and 15% on Switzerland gold at 13 cents. Those are our gold plays. We're going to be willing to get off all of those as things go along. I know that spread's kind of a wide net, but I kind of want to, I want to get back in the win column here. And they're long enough odds that I'm really like getting in on Switzerland at that low number. I think they could see that price really climb, and that'd be when I look at to cash out early on. I'm also going 10% of my allocation on Sweden to win gold because you don't win a world championship and win gold in an Olympics and get disrespected with a 6-cent price to win gold. I'm holding 15% of Sweden to medal at 36 cents, 10% USA to medal at 29 cents, and 5% Italy to medal at 24 cents. Italy's been really strong. They have an underrated season. They play really well. So give me Italy to medal. If you're betting that straight up, I found Great Britain gold odds at plus 110 and Sweden gold odds at plus 2200. Love both of those. Followed by Sweden to medal at plus 350, Italy to medal at plus 225, and USA to medal at plus 400. Those are my futures plays. Those are really the 5 that I really want to lock in on. But if I'm spreading it a little further out, that's how I'd allocate my 10 units over on Kalshi. For the opening draw, 12.5 feels like a really high number with how we've seen this ice perform lately, especially in the Olympics. Teams are going to play it a little tighter. You're going to see less really big ends. As they're kind of feeling this out, I think you might see more of them play a little bit straighter of a game. a lot tighter, so a lot more hits. 12.5 feels really high for the opening round. So let's go unders 12.5 across the board. This could bite us in the butt, but it just feels like we saw it slow down a little bit in doubles there. Some of the early scoring was heavy. And then moving into our picks, USA -1.5, Great Britain -2.5, Canada -2.5, and Sweden on the money line at -120. Love parlaying all four of those. I think those four teams are USA is the toughest game in my mind. Sweden and Italy could be a tough game, but I think Edin's getting underrated, right? Or getting a little disrespected right now. Anyways, I'm going to throw it over to my boy, Adam Rosenberg, here to talk to you about the hockey props and stuff he likes there. And as always, let it slide.
Hey, it's Adam from the Propcast. I'm going to give you 3 plays that I like for the Olympic men's hockey tournament. Let's go right away to Zach Werenski, Team USA point leader at 10-1. He led Team USA in points at 4 Nations. He also led in the tournament. He's going to be part of all power plays, so you know that he's going to be able to get in there. I am not very high on this Team USA team. I am sorry. I don't like the way that they're built. But look, Werenski's a beast. He's already got 20 goals this year for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He also has the highest individual Corsi per game on the team at 7.56. That is elite. So Zach Werenski, Team USA point leader 10-1. Next play I'm going to give you, our neighbors in the north, Team Canada. I like Sammy Reinhart to be the tournament goal leader at 45-1, and I like him to lead Canada in goals at 11-1. Right now, he is slotted as the 4th line winger. I don't pay attention to that much. He's going to be on the power play on the first, which is most important to me. He has 10 power play goals this year already. He has the 2nd highest individual high danger chances score of anyone on the Team Canada behind Connor McDavid. So that means he is creating scoring opportunities like no other. He's also top 20 in the NHL in goals right now with 27. So give me Sammy Reinhart to lead the tournament in goals and also Team Canada in goals. I think these lines are going to move around a little bit, so I'm not buying what we're seeing already in practice. Final play, Logan Thompson, saves leader at 17-1. He has not officially been named the starter for Team Canada. Jordan Binnington, I believe, might also play some games. But Logan Thompson, who's having a Vezina quality year for the Caps, he's given up the 4th most rebounds in the league. If you give up rebounds, you end up giving up more shots. He has a high save percentage, so he ends up making more saves. He's also -230 just to get a shutout, which you're not going to be able to get a shutout if you're not blocking shots. I expect Canada, which has a better defense than most of the other teams, to be playing from in front for most of the games of the tournament, which creates a game script where the opponent's going to have to be shooting a bit. So Logan Thompson, saves leader at 17-1. If he gets in there, if he gets named the starter, this is great. If he ends up playing some of the games because Binnington's been terrible, that's even better. But we're going to go with him as the saves leader for the tournament. Those are 3 futures that I like for this Olympic men's ice hockey tournament.